Good morning, and we're looking at Friday as Jesus stands trial before the Sanhedrin, Matthew 26, 57, and verses 59 through 68, and then Luke 22, 63 through 71. In the morning, Annas sent Jesus, still tied up, to Caiaphas, the high priest, member of the Sanhedrin, which consisted of the chief priests, the elders, and the teachers of the law. And they had gathered there. They were looking for evidence against Jesus so that they could sentence him to death. They didn't find any. On the night of his betrayal and the day of his crucifixion, Jesus actually stood trial in several different times before different judges. And the events can be summarized. Jesus first brought to the home of Annas, the high priest, the power behind the throne. And then Luke proceeds this first nighttime trial before the high priest. They hastily gathered the council together. And this, of course, is all illegal. And Jesus is mocked and beaten by the religious authorities. Thank goodness for religious people, right? Some people stated, "We've heard him say, 'I'll destroy this man-made temple, and in 3 days build another one, not made by man.'" Others testified against him, but their statements didn't agree. Caiaphas stood up against and asked Jesus, this is the next trial, aren't you going to respond? What are you going to say about the testimony of these men? And Jesus didn't answer. Are you the Christ, the Son of the Blessed One? Jesus replied, I'll tell you. If I tell you, you won't believe me. If I ask you a question, you won't answer. Caiaphas said, You are under oath. I command you to answer in the name of the living God. Are you the Christ? Are you the Son of God? Jesus is brought to Caiaphas, who is the sitting high priest, and they are placed on trial before, once again, a group that's been gathered together hastily, and they brought false witnesses. False witnesses are great because what they say is false. It's just as you say. This is Jesus' response. In the future, you'll see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of the Mighty One, coming in the clouds of heaven. Then Caiaphas tore his clothes. We don't need any more witnesses, he told them, told the Jewish leaders. You've heard blasphemy from his own lips. So what do you think? He should be put to death, they said. Hereafter, an overwhelming focus is on Jesus' foes. And notice that they are the religious leaders of the day. He's just confounded them. Then the men guarding Jesus mocked him, blindfolded him, spit on his face, punched him, slapped him, and said, Prophesy, Christ, who hit you? And they also made other insulting remarks. And again, they are working under the authority of the priests.